On Solsbury Hill, I can see through city lights. Rumors blowing, time stood still. Eagle flew out of the night. It was something to observe. Shaking it close, I heard a voice, static, stretching every nerve. Had to listen, had no choice. Could not believe the information. Just had to trust imagination. A heart going boom, boom, boom. Son, she said, pack my things, I've come to take you home. Yeah, back home. I resigned. My friends would think I was a cunt, turning water into wine. All the doors would soon be shut, so I went from day to day. For my life was in a wreck. Should I thought of what I'd say? Which connection I should cut was not a part of the scenery. Walk right out of the machinery. My heart going boom, boom, boom. Yeah, she said, keep my things, I've come to take you home. Yeah, back home. Right.